Hey, welcome to Jillin Off. This is Jen Murphy. Christina is still out of town. She is over in Australia for the National Burping Championships.
Ooh.
If anybody listens,
Is she winning?
they'll know why. She's doing okay. 2 silvers so far. She's going for the gold. So today, as my co-host, I have brought on my lovely stepsister, Allison Capello, who's also a professional hairdresser in Monrovia, California. You can follow her at Allie's Hairspace on Instagram. So, as I've said before in the past couple of weeks, since Christina's gone, I'm just taking this opportunity to talk about topics that Christina and I don't normally cover. So this week, I brought my stepsister. She's never done a podcast. Welcome.
Thank you.
I brought her on because before she was my stepsister, she was my cousin. So we thought it might be interesting to cover that aspect of our life that maybe other people may have experienced. I'm guessing not too many probably have. Have you heard of this? Oh, and Alex is here with us, of course, our
What's
lovely
up?
producer, sound engineer. What do you like to be called?
I don't care. Yeah, Alex is good.
Have you ever heard of this before?
About family members changing the status of their familial tie due to marriage.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I've
so.
heard of it.
Okay, yeah. So my mom married her sister's ex-husband.
All right. Yeah.
That is Allie's dad.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I actually have something. We've got some family drama of similar. No, it's a generation or two above me, but yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it might be more common than we think.
Do you have a Koosis or a Kubro?
I have no idea what that is, but I'm working on having one of each. Actually, I'm buying one of each next year. 2020 is the year of Koosis and Kubros. That's what I've been saying. What is it? What is that?
That is a cousin brother or a cousin sister.
Oh, okay. No, I don't.
It's a name she made up, so
Okay.
it makes sense if you've never heard it before.
But I might also get one in 2020. Why not?
It also sounds like something you put your beer in
Yeah, it does.
at the river.
Yeah.
Koosies. Get it? What was yours that was 2 generations up, or do you not want to talk about it? You don't have
No,
to.
it was just that I want to say it was one person's ex kind of went on to get with the sister kind of thing, and then he ended up murdering her.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, it's a little intense, but yeah, it's all right.
All right, well, you just trumped us, so anyway.
No, I don't. No, but
Allie, you want to step aside? I'm going to interview Alex.
I don't honestly know enough about it. I've just heard you know how you hear the rumblings from like pissed off grandparents and kind of
Yeah.
gets it. Yeah, that's all I know.
Having a murder in the family, that's pretty
It's all right. yeah.
intense.
Stuff you read about.
Yeah, it's all right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so this happened, well, we grew up together anyway, like down the street from
I
each
should
other.
say allegedly murdered. I don't think he ever like served time for it, but the family know. Violent boyfriend, daughter goes.
Oh,
The family knew he was violent because of the other daughter, and then.
but it never really got solved?
No, I don't believe. I mean, this was like this was a long time ago. Before we were, before dental records, I would say. I don't know.
So he went from one sister to the other.
Yeah.
And one
Okay.
went missing.
So sometimes that's what you got to do. You gotta switch
Apparently.
it up. Apparently. Apparently.
I know. That's what I thought too when it came out of my mouth. I was like, oh, there's something more to that word.
It does sound very parentally. Okay.
What do you think? Because this is what I've wondered. Do you think that 2 people really like are that much in love and just have to be together that it's worth kind of blowing up a family or causing such a disruption?
You want to know what I really think?
Yeah.
I think that I think there's something inside of us that's attracted to people regardless of the way they look or who they are. Like there's an animalism to us. Opposites attract, biomarkers. I've heard some stuff like this before, where you're attracted to. It's almost like you can smell it on them. The way dogs can smell it on each other. It's There are people whose biology is the opposite of your biology, which goes along to make a healthier offspring. Opposites
Yeah.
attract. We've always heard this. So I think it's very normal that, I mean, if you and your sister have the same biology, or if there's, stuff like that. I'm not a scientist, by the way. I'm a stand-up comedian and an idiot. But if there is a piece of your DNA that's attractive to a person, your sister's probably got similar DNA. Like I feel like that goes the whole. I don't know. I shouldn't go into this route, but yeah, Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, I understand if the two people are attracted to the same person, but I'm saying when that initially happens and you have to make that decision, like, do we act on this or do we don't? Do you think that it's really like, well, no, I just have to do this because I love someone so much, or do you think you can? Oh, there's always a point in life when you can walk away.
I feel back in the day, those people just used to run away together. I feel like we're forced to confront it more now. I don't know. Who am I to tell you not to chase your passions?
Yeah.
But no, I don't. Me personally, I wouldn't. I don't believe in because there's a lot of weird conversations that have to happen when you have a new Kubro.
Yes.
Kubro. When you have a new Kubro, there's a lot of conversations that have to happen where you have to like everyone's got. It kind of just becomes like the hush hush in the family, and.
Oh, ours was very loud.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on the family, but
Yeah, we have a big family.
some
and
families are like, shh, we don't talk about that, and then some families are like, let's get drunk and talk about it.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Um,
Don't you think we talked about it a lot, Ellie? Yeah.
I mean, you can't not.
yeah, it's
Two
Well,
families have merged.
We have a really big family, and they all live in Southern California. So I
Yeah.
think when you're saying hush hush, if this was distant family that lived in Missouri, and we'd be like, oh yeah, don't talk about,
Yeah.
But I think when
it's
forced-
your wing.
when you're together for every holiday, like you can't
Yeah,
really hush it.
you're not
'cause
gonna
you're-
not bring it up.
Yeah,
hmm
you have to get together. I mean,
But yeah, no, I think it's I don't know. I'd never. No, I wouldn't do it personally. I don't think it's worth it. But I mean, hey, who knows?
I got a sister out of it.
I think a lot of people too are just they end up in these very rigid romantic situations. Like if you have a child or something, and you're just like, you are glued to a situation, and instead of walking away from it, there comes a point where you're just like, well, let's just blow up the whole damn thing, because that's at least an excuse to walk away from the rubble. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of people don't know how to navigate. They don't update their own personal files often enough to walk away from a situation before it becomes something they want nothing to do with. And that, I think, might lend to like, well, like if you've been in an unhappy marriage for 15 years and then, secretly you've been kind of running off to see the sister, at what point are you not like, well, let's just use the sister as an excuse to get out of the marriage? Like
yeah.
like let's just let the chips fall where they may, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
gotcha.
So tell I don't know. You have more of the answers than I do. You tell me.
I don't think I have the answers really.
Are you gonna tell your listeners the story?
You mean of exactly how it happened?
Or yeah, like how you have a cousin turned sister and a
Well, I mean, we are right now, right?
Yeah.
Are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we were just talking about, like, I don't know. I want to hear it. I want to hear your story.
Oh, exactly how it happened?
Yeah.
Sure. Well, we grew up living down the street from each other, so I saw her and her two brothers like a couple times a week already. Anyway, our families
You would
were very
babysit
close.
us.
I would babysit as well.
Uh-oh.
My parents were married 25 years, and your parents, what?
They were married for 20 years.
So my dad decided to leave after 25 years, and then I guess like a year after, her dad left, and then I don't think they were having an affair.
No, because my parents had split.
Did
quite
your
a few
dads get
times.
together?
That would be great. Oh my God, that would be so
Because
great.
that sounds very California.
Yeah, so
Maybe not Monrovia, but
I think
definitely.
part of it too is my mom was not wanting to get divorced. She thought she was married for life. I think part of it too is when you're sort of all of a sudden alone after being married from 18,
Yeah.
then you might gravitate to who you know, somebody
Your
you
circle
know.
of people is very small. You've been in the same familial unit for 20 years. You
Yeah.
know, yeah.
So when the situation came up, I think it was like, oh, okay, you know.
Shelter shock.
I think that's why a lot of the time when you see people who get out of long relationships, they get with like high school sweethearts or it's just like it's the only people you know because your entire circle of people was,
Yeah. Yeah. I've
Yeah.
heard a lot of stories of people that get out of marriages. Yeah. And then go back to sometimes a previous marriage or just get married again. Oh, you're right. High school sweetheart.
yeah.
I mean, it would be tough.
So whose mom, whose dad? It was your dad and your mom?
No, it's my mom.
Your
mom, my
mom.
dad.
Okay. And you think your mom just didn't like that was like her only sphere of
Well, they were very close already.
okay.
We grew
Yeah.
up like walking distance
Tight.
our whole life. Yeah.
A lot of family dinners together.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think there was anything going on when my
During?
mom was married.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. That's my opinion.
When your mom was married, so do you think there was something going on when my dad was married?
Well, they're married at the same time, but I can only say from my mom.
Yeah,
I
know.
think something was going on the whole time, guys.
You
no,
think so?
definitely not.
No, I'm just trying to make for good listening.
Stir some shit.
Trying to stir the shit.
Definitely not. Not when your parents were married.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I
That
do
was-
think it was one of those things where her life got blown up, and then this was who was closest, and he, was like, I'm available.
Maybe.
But you do have something about though, because he did want to leave your mom for quite a while, and I think he did finally do it after my mom was available. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they separated quite a few times throughout our childhood, so I think the last time was the nail in the coffin when your mom got single,
Yeah,
for sure.
we're not really sure. We've never had the balls to actually ask.
You should ask. We should have him on. Let's do an episode. But no, that's I mean, so how was it addressed? It was obviously addressed often. How often how I guess I'm just trying to so your father, your mother, are they just out of the picture completely or do they still come around to family gatherings? Who's the who's the familial tie? Obviously not the two that got married, right?
Yeah, my dad is.
So somebody's ex was still in the family. I
Yeah,
guess.
so it was her mom is the one that suffered the most.
Okay.
That way. And my mom kind of retreated and didn't go to the family event, so her mom kind of got to steal the.
Okay.
But it was awkward
Yeah.
because all of a sudden my mom was just out because of the decisions she made. You know what I mean? That's why
Yeah.
when I asked, like, is it worth it at that kind of decision? What do you think? Is it worth it because of? Although sometimes when you make the decision, you don't know all the repercussions.
No,
either.
I think you don't. But again, I think
Because she has 5 sisters who she didn't talk to for like 10 years. Like, I mean, when I say it blew
they
up.
were all like, I ain't bringing her around my husband. She ain't coming around Frank, not on a Tuesday. She's like, I'm at the salon every Tuesday at noon. I better not catch you around here on a Tuesday. Not on a Tuesday at 2, nothing.
That is so funny.
But no, yeah, I mean, I can understand too why a family would why
People
why,
felt like they had to choose a side.
Yeah, I think that happens with a lot of
And people tend to go
familial
more
things.
toward who seems to be a victim.
Yeah, that's definitely what happens.
And Allie's mom seemed to be the victim.
But sometimes you gotta, yeah, that's, yeah. I know in my family, we just kind of go with who we like more, you know?
Who's
Like,
more fun?
Who cares about the victim? I want to hang out with Uncle R over here, you know? So, but, yeah, that's one.
I do think it makes it more difficult when all your family lives very close.
Yes.
Because we have to,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to ignore.
Especially if the family's tight knit, if there's a lot of familial bonding, you know, because then it's like in my family, if somebody doesn't come to the parties, we don't see them 6 times a year, 4 times a year.
Yeah.
If a family gets together, every week for game night, then you're like, oh, we haven't seen so and so in 52 game nights. Like it feels like more, you know what I mean? Like
52 games.
so it just like it's yeah, I don't know. That's very interesting.
We have a lot of really smart
How old were you
kids
guys?
in the family, and we're wondering how long it's going to take for them to figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who
Like
will be the
like
first one.
children that are trying to figure it out, or
Yeah,
yeah.
because they see my dad, and then they see their Grandma Cindy,
Yeah.
and then Grandma Cindy looks like Nana, who's
Ye-
married to Papa.
Yeah. It's a lot.
They have a lot of nicknames, too.
A lot of nanas, a lot of grandmas. Yeah. So, how old were you guys when this happened?
Older. I was 22.
Yeah, so I was in, I think, 7th or 8th grade when my parents actually split. It's
You were probably like 16 or so, right?
foggy when they got together. I was a senior
think
when they
you were
got
six-
married.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were 22?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I had just moved to New York, and then I found out. But I
How'd
also
you find out?
they called me.
They called? That's polite.
They're like, "We're gonna
What
come."
if she called you and she's like, "Hey, by the way, we're hey koozie," and you're like,
Hey, Koozie.
and you're like, "I've had a couple koozie years. What are you talking about? How'd you know?"
Yeah, they called me, and then they came to visit in New York, and I remember just sort of like going along with it. I feel like I never really got mad about it, and a lot of other people in the family got mad.
We were here.
I always just sort of was like, okay, everything's cool. But I think that's probably why how sometimes when I'm drunk I get angry. It's still brewing down there. I also sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's the aftermath coming up now.
Well, you were very angry when it first happened.
I mean, yeah.
Understandably, yeah.
Yeah.
I was also the last one to find out. Like, everybody knew but me.
That's
It was awkward.
that's a little rude.
And
I
I
think
asked them, and they lied.
I think anger's the normal first reaction.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like anger's always the normal first reaction, though.
For
Do you guys
anything.
have siblings? Like,
Yeah.
so how many siblings do you each have?
I have 2 Kubros. No, she has 2 brothers, so and then
Uh-huh.
I have 1 real brother. So
Okay.
there's 5 of us total between the 2.
How did the brothers take it?
Angry,
Yeah.
really angry.
Are they older brothers or younger brothers?
Mine's older. Yeah, yours. Yeah. Oh,
Mine
yeah.
are, yeah,
They're all
than me.
older.
So these people were probably in their mid-20s when they found out too. Like, yeah. Uncle Mike's been doing what? I'll fucking kill him.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
What'd he do? He touched mom? Anyway. But no, that's yeah,
Oh God.
very interesting. Because I can imagine as like, I don't know, as a son, I don't know. I just like I'm in my late 20s. I imagine. I mean, if my mom shacked up with trying to think of. There's really no one. I mean, Uncle Dan, I guess. With my mom. So I have a stepfather anyway. My parents have been divorced since I was a kid. So I don't really. I look at family tie also as like just a very like not very of a permanent thing, you know, like. So that's how I view it. But if my mom, I don't know. I mean. Again, she'd be more betraying my stepdad's family than my family, you know. So, I don't know. I can't put myself in those shoes, but
I don't think the boys got mad in that way. Like,
What, the sex way?
yeah, I don't think it was like.
No, I think they were just pissed. Like,
Yeah.
why the fuck would you do this?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's a little, yeah.
I mean,
I don't think it was definitely I don't think it was a protective way at all.
Like, look, I don't care about the sanctity of mom. I just want to know. But no, that's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was definitely.
So, are they still
justified.
together?
Yes.
How long have they been together?
20 years. In
Things good?
Coming in
Yes,
October.
sir,
Things good?
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So it worked
So-
out.
Okay.
It's yeah. I don't know. I was gonna ask you something. Oh, I was wondering something. I was wondering. Do you feel like it made you untrustworthy of people?
Oh.
Because sometimes I think like if one, this is a problem we have.
I don't
too.
think just that.
But part of the thing too is like my mom is like so nice. Done anything. I mean, she would die for. She's so nice. She's always been so nice my whole life. So it's a weird thing where you're like, I think this one act is so wrong, but I can't
But it's so out of character that
take away a lifetime of
good deeds.
being a great mom. So
Yeah.
that's part of where the confusion comes of when if you want to get angry, but you're like, but she didn't do it to me.
Yeah.
Even if I think it might be wrong, or she might not have done it to her sister, or whatever. But it's like that's where some confusion comes too, where you're like, okay, wait, well, she didn't do anything right to me, so can I get angry? Is it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a confusing emotional situation.
Yeah.
Did you feel that way, Allie?
I mean, mine was a little bit different. I feel like she's always been a mother figure to me, so I feel like I don't know, like I don't have that anger, but I feel like I have anger in other areas to other people, like she's been like a solid person to me,
Well, that's good.
you know?
Can I ask you where you think your anger is?
Yeah, you said to other people. What do you mean?
My real birth mother.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, but that's not in regards to this situation,
No,
right?
yeah.
That's into other stuff.
So let me just to clarify, your mothers are sisters.
Yes.
Birth, like biological sisters. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And you have a little more anger toward your mom?
Well, for other things.
Okay, yeah.
So it's kind of like my brothers. I don't know.
Did your mom ever get remarried?
No, I don't even think she really.
What about your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got married right after he left. Like, he left for a reason. So,
Mhm.
so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Ran out with
Secretary.
Classic.
Classic American tale.
Classic American tale. Well, the classic American tale is to have a second family with your secretary, but to leave your wife for your secretary, that's the modern American tale.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now that Facebook exists, it's harder to hide a second family, but I feel like back in the day, doable. Very doable.
Oh, yeah. Before social media.
Mm-hmm.
23andMe.
I can't believe anybody cheats these days. It seems
You know-
like you're just bound to get caught.
Yeah. It seems insane
There's
to me.
so much work involved. You'd have to delete every single text right after you text someone. Delete it. Rid of it. You know what I mean? Just get rid of all communication.
Well, and not only that, but like, if the situation, like, we've all heard the story about the girl who gets strung along. Like, the guy's like, I'm going to leave her for you. I'm going to leave her for you. I'm going to leave her for you. And eventually that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
Because of what you're asking of, is it worth destroying a family? Is it worth hurting my children for my, like, even if you want to leave your wife and you're not afraid to leave your wife, sometimes people stay because of children or familial, like just other things, responsibility. Or maybe your wife is a stay-at-home mom and you can't, like, what are you going to do, leave her unemployed? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
people have these situations. Then, like, nowadays, if you don't end up leaving that person, the person that you do end up screwing, like the person who thought you were going to leave your wife, the side piece, she could find your wife so easy, like with social media.
Oh, yeah.
It's so easy for people when they feel wronged to get back at you very quickly. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, cheating's pretty insane.
I also feel like there's just so much violence now that I'd be terrified if that happened, that this woman would, like physically, like really hurt me. Like, I feel like people act out more the violence. Well, they probably always have. I just didn't know about it.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe women do more now, but I feel like back in the day it was more acceptable for men to like
Oh,
fight.
yeah.
you know?
Go over and beat the shit out of
Yeah.
the guy.
Like, I'm gonna go. So with the whole the story I've been told is with the ex and the murder and the dead child and whatnot. There were children from the first marriage that are still a part of the family, kind of like my uncles. You get what I'm saying? Like, so when my uncle got married, his dad, who was, the guy, piece of shit guy in the story, he wanted to come to the wedding, but when my great grandfather, who's the father of the daughter who got murdered, when he found out he was in Vegas, he was like, he like put the shotgun in the truck and went for a ride. He was
Yeah.
looking for him. He was looking for the guy that he believed to have harmed his daughter, murdered his daughter. But that guy was like trying to come to town to go to the wedding of his son. You know what I mean? So it's just like the violence I feel like was definitely there for men. Maybe not for women, but I feel like dudes would have. Like, I feel like when guys felt wronged, I feel like they used to be a little more violent.
Yeah, probably.
But you think a woman would come at you if you wrecked her home?
I'm just terrified of everything. I wouldn't even do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it if there was some marriage. No.
No.
Even a guy with a girlfriend. Even some of my guys that I'm just friends with, but they have a girlfriend. I'm very nervous about like texting. I'm like,
Yeah.
even if we think, comics, we
Mhm.
write nasty shit just joking around. But
Yeah.
I'm like, delete that text or just in case. I don't
Yeah.
want, because I feel like
You're
anyone
like, I
can
didn't
just
say
see.
that about your penis because I've seen it, and I think it's important that she knows that. I said it because I knew it would hurt your feelings. But
Yes, I don't actually know if it's small. I'm just.
yeah, I'm just guessing here.
Just her.
But if it is, your wife's gonna be like, "How the hell does Jen know it's small?"
Exactly.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's definitely different now, but yeah.
Yes. What about you,
I
Allie?
do think it is different with men because if you think about it, if Josh went after Lorena, there is no doubt in my mind that Jordan would not react on that.
Oh, violently?
Yes.
We're talking about her brothers that are married.
Okay.
So yeah, I do think there is a difference between men and women.
Would he be violent toward his own brother?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Mm.
Not like to the point of murder, but he'd beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, there would be some.
He go knocking on doors.
Yes.
Would he win?
Yeah.
Probably.
See,
I
that's why you.
I
But
do, yeah.
but do you think that kind of influences it? Like, do you think that people? That's part of the equation when you're like, is it worth it? Maybe someone thinks to themselves, like for instance, whichever guy is gonna win, maybe the other guy's like, I'm not gonna fuck his wife, because not only could he, but he would, Whereas the other guy, the guy who would win a physical altercation, he might look at the other guy's wife differently. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, it's probably
Yes.
part of the calculus. When you're making that decision, I'm sure, like, this idea of physical violence comes to mind, like, oh, what's really going to happen? Because when people get, cheated on, or when people feel like, that's not even just violence with hands. That's when people, like, they throw the gun in the glove box, go for a drive. Like, people get upset when they feel wronged, especially when it's a loved one and,
Yeah. I also think maybe women, or maybe it's just me, have a tendency to try and make everything okay. Because
think
even her
that's-
mom at first was like, oh, okay, well, if they want to be together, like trying to make it okay. And then, inside she's fucking losing
she's
her
like
mind.
going crazy.
and,
Yeah,
you
but she
know.
doesn't want to be a bitch and be like,
Next thing
that's
you know,
terrible.
there's
yeah.
a bottle of pills
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, and well, you
But do you feel like women
you
do
bottle
that?
it in, and by bottle it in, you bottle a pill it in,
Yeah.
No, I feel like, maybe. I mean,
Because I noticed I
I
try
feel
and
like
do that.
I feel like women used to do that. I don't think. I think maybe women now would, but I feel like this generation of girls wouldn't. And I feel like as they grow up, I don't think they will. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm already old enough to be, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like and cooler heads typically prevail, and it's that. But like a lot of these girls on Snapchat who've never had their heart broken before, they don't know that yet, but they also grew up on Snapchat instead of, I mean, I feel like the internet desensitizes us to violence a lot. Yeah,
Mhm.
do you think that? I mean, there's a lot of you just see it so much on the internet.
Yeah.
So maybe younger people might, I don't know. Have either of you ever wrecked a home? Can I ask?
No.
No.
When I was in my early 20s, I had a few. I made out with a few that I shouldn't have.
Comics?
No, I wasn't a comedian yet.
Oh, married men, you mean?
Yeah,
Or
I did.
men taken men?
Not since I was like 24, probably.
Okay.
Though.
How were you when you started comedy?
I was until I was 30. I started late.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I was younger, I wanted to be an actress and do theater. I moved to New York and I wanted to do Broadway and stuff. And then I ended up getting into stand up.
How did the family feel when she moved to New York?
I think they were fine with it, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they just thought I was
That's what-
adventurous because nobody ever left California.
Well, our whole family blew up after you left, so.
Yeah, so I moved to New York not knowing there was anything wrong with my parents' marriage. They celebrated their 25th year anniversary, like renewed their vows,
Whole family
and
was there.
had a party. Like 4 months later, I moved to New York, and then 2 weeks after I move, my dad takes off. So I get a call from my mom, like, your dad left, like, I mean, no
Whoa.
clue.
They never fought.
No
anything.
clue. Also, that's so shady of my dad to he had to know he was thinking of leaving.
Yeah,
And then he
yeah.
goes and renews the vows and does this whole party and
But again, maybe that was part of him trying to convince himself that's not what he wanted. You know, I mean, like, I feel like a lot of times people, when they know that a decision is considered, maybe it's not even really the wrong decision to leave your mom per se. I mean,
No, he should do
Yeah.
what makes him happy.
Exactly. So, but at
It's just
there
the
might
series of events was awkward.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of the time at the end of a marriage, there are like grandiose displays. Like a lot of people have kids when they're on the fritz, right? Because they're
Oh,
like,
that's
let's
true.
bring it together, let's fix it, and then they have like a 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 2-year-old,
Yeah.
and they're divorced, and you're like, why the fuck? Now you got to talk to that lady. You were 3 years away from never having to talk to her ever again, and now you're 14, like 16 years. That makes no sense, right? So I feel like a lot of people at the end of before they make that before they break it off, like, oh, let's see what we can do, because we've all known those like people have kids when they shouldn't, at the end of a relationship. So maybe he was trying to you know,
Make it work one
yeah,
last time.
maybe he was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it, and
But he
then
just couldn't resist Doreen.
or maybe he didn't want to. Oh, maybe when you left, he was like, well, kids are out of the house. 'Cause that's another time when it
Yeah.
happens a lot, right? When the kids are finally gone and no one, like,
Yeah, because my brother was already gone, so I guess I was the last.
yeah.
Did you know when they renewed your vows that you were moving to New York? Like, was that planned?
I don't know, because I was in January and I left in June. Oh yeah, I think so. I think I planned it for at least. I may have not. I know I planned it for at least 3 months, but it wasn't a long plan, so he may not have known.
Okay.
No.
Hmm.
So that might have been part of the reason. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little easier to do when somebody doesn't have their eyes on you.
Yeah, when the kids aren't looking at you disappointed.
And
Wow.
two, when you're together, just the two of you, I think things can change.
Yeah,
When
also
there's
when
no one else in the house.
empty nest, in the house, yeah. And you're like, well, I want to play golf more. And it's like, well, actually, I want to leave you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's more just the surprise of it when your parents didn't fight, but now that I'm older, I realize it was really fucking weird that they never fought.
Are you married?
No.
You're not married, right, Jen?
We're both single.
Would either of you get married? Or are you guys anti-marriage? Do you think this might have shaped the way you view marriage?
I think Allie's anti-marriage.
I am anti-marriage. I love living alone, though.
Okay.
I've lived with somebody, and once that ended, I was like, I like my own space.
Yeah.
So it's not
Yeah.
for me.
I'm not against it, but obviously I haven't tried hard to make it happen either. So,
Do you feel like it's because you put your career before? Is it that kind of thing, or?
no. I mean, I do. It is more important than
So do you think?
going on dates or
I
something.
mean,
but-
It happened when you were older, but what effects do you think it had on you? It had to have shaped your opinion on something, right?
Yeah, I'm not. I would say maybe mistrust.
That, I feel like I go for the unavailable.
Oh, I only go for guys that are unavailable.
Well, nothing less available than your aunt and uncle. That's not even unavailable as much. That's like three degrees of unavailable. Maybe that just runs in the blood.
Yeah, I'm definitely attracted, but I didn't know if that's just me or if it had something to do with that situation.
Okay.
It's hard to know because I was 22. I mean, you're already somewhat formed.
Yeah, but also you haven't had a real relationship by then. Like
That is true.
And it's gonna you are somewhat formed, but I feel like an event that shatters your formation. Like if your parents were if you come from a healthy married background, like just a nuclear family, and then when you're 22 it just flips. That could also that might imagine.
Yeah.
And it's weird for me because my parents got divorced when I was a year old. I never saw it. Every time I've ever seen them in the same room together, they were arguing, and half of those times were in court. You know what I mean?
Oh, jeez.
They've never gotten along, but they've both been remarried. My mom, I'm pretty sure my mom was cheating on my stepdad, because he was in the picture fast. But they've been together ever since. They've been together for I'm 28. They've been together 27 years, 26 years.
All right.
And my dad's been remarried since I was 6, 7, so to the same woman. So I wasn't around for the situation that kind of pulled them apart. But I do know growing up and seeing I don't know. I'm gonna get away from it. I don't.
I mean, I guess you still saw two pretty healthy relationships if they're still together, right? Or they
s-
just weren't healthy together. Your mom and dad just weren't healthy
My
together.
mom and my stepdad are pretty healthy. My dad and my stepmom, they're like,
Oh.
you know.
What household were you brought up in?
Both actually, almost 50-50. It was like 60-40. Until I got a little older, and then I was like, all right, I'm not going to my dad's house anymore. It's a little crazy over there. But yeah, more my mom's, I would say.
I feel like too, like how you grow up in the environment.
But sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
Just
go ahead.
just thinking out loud. My sister grew up exclusively, like her father was kind of out of the picture young. My dad adopted her. She grew up in that situation, and she had her own stuff going on with her dad, but she definitely didn't come out, I don't think, as adjusted. I mean, also I live in my car, so I'm not really that well adjusted either. You know, I'm like a poor artist, but I think like my sister was around that family 24/7, and she, like, I can tell you for a fact, if I grew up 24 hours a day 7 days a week in my dad's house, I would be a very different person. Very different.
In
So,
a negative way?
Yeah,
Okay,
probably.
because there's more drama and stuff.
A lot.
Yeah, see, Allie grew up with a lot more drama. My parents were like, leave it to Beaver, and hers were like always fighting, right?
Yes,
pretty much.
they were. And I
So
find myself fighting in relationships.
You
You
fight a
find-
lot?
I do.
Yeah?
I use my words.
You use your words?
I do.
All right.
really,
Use
did
your
you and Abe
elbows.
used to fight a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, is that why you just stopped having relationships? She retired
No,
at an early age.
they just
You celibate? What does that mean?
no, I just got
You hire
fucked
hookers now?
over,
All right.
like really, really bad the past
Mhm.
like 3, so I just don't.
I didn't
try.
know you were a fighter. I was living in
Well,
New York
if
last
I'm
time she had a
antagonized,
relationship. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like fist fight, but I'll definitely. I'll yell back.
Yeah. Like to holler? Like to hoot?
I haven't seen that side of you.
I go low.
I don't think I want to.
Oh.
I go low.
I go low.
Yeah, I'm mean. I can be mean.
She says the things that make you want to kill her.
It's
Probably.
not a good. It's not a good person.
Yeah.
I don't like that person.
Well, and that's the weird thing is when you're in a relationship with someone, you know the intimate details of their life so much that if you want to go low,
Yeah.
it's pretty easy. You know all the shit to say. Like, everyone knows the exact buttons to press to just, like, light their significant other up, you know, like 0 to 60, you know, like, so.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do the opposite. I just shut down. I don't say a word.
You should
I
leave.
do not fight. Yeah.
I do that and then I shut down.
Drives some people crazy. When somebody's like starts to fight with you and I'm just like, don't say it. I was done.
How do you feel when people shut down on you?
I don't know if it's happened.
Do you get clingers?
What do you mean?
Like, do you get very clingy men?
No, but I'm not attracted.
No, but
But I'm
what?
not attracted to clingy men.
No, okay.
So if you're asking if they're attracted to
Oh,
me,
yeah,
I
you
don't
said-
know.
Yeah, you said you're attracted to unavailable men.
I'm also attracted to men, yeah, who. I mean, my last boyfriend was available, but we definitely, yeah, it was a distance a little bit.
Was he like actually available? Was he emotionally available? I mean, those are two like. Some people just emotionally aren't available.
Yeah, certain ways, but yeah, he definitely kept up like a guard,
Mm-hmm.
and he was definitely like, "I'm a man. I'll take care of you. I'm a man." Like,
Is that what you're
like
into?
Kind of old school, like
Yeah.
men.
Do you like them old school?
I think I can be really bitchy when a guy is too emotional.
Okay.
I think I'm very judgmental. Like, it's not a good.
You don't. Like
I don't
it.
say it out loud, but in my head sometimes
like,
I'm
"God,
like,
you're a
pussy. I'm like, oh, that's so mean.
Well, we also grew up with no emotion. Like even like in our household,
Yeah.
we're not supposed to show emotion, and like our
Yeah.
parents grew up not showing emotion.
Yeah,
so
when I
think
say leave it to Beaver, it's like my dad came home, we had dinner, and he'd be like, just, how's your day? How's work? Oh, this, and then that's it. It's over.
Yeah.
So that might have something.
You
but
weren't like complaining about boys. When
but
I
I
hear
feel
people talk
bad.
about their significant others with their parents and they're like teenagers, I'm like, I don't know if that's good either. I don't know if your parents should be like coaching you through relationships. Who are they to do this? You know, like.
yeah. I don't know. I feel bad that I said guys. It's not that. It's more. Yeah, maybe it's the clingy thing. That's such a turn off. But I'll tell you what. I
But again,
never experienced that when I lived in New York. I never had that experience, and then I moved to LA, and I met a lot more of those guys who
Yeah.
were
emotionally wrecked.
Maybe it's the emotional actors that are here. I don't know.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a
Almost-
big there's like a big therapy culture here, so maybe it's like, I just want to be open and I'm soft. Yeah, I'm tired of it too.
Yeah, I mean, I just like a guy.
I don't like hanging out with these people.
I like a guy who's more old school that is just like, yeah, a man.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean they have to be like rough or,
Yeah.
or they can't have emotion, but just,
Mm-hmm.
Suck it in a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah.
I hear you. What about you?
I
Same?
sound like such a dick.
Yeah, I don't like emotion.
I mean, it sounds
It
like
makes
you
them
shame
weak.
men. So yeah, sounds like you like to shame men. You're like, fucking bitch.
She just said it makes them weak.
It makes them
I
weak.
mean, when? Yeah.
Yeah, but you want somebody to have some emotion.
Have you ever heard?
Yes.
So you want to hear something interesting?
A normal amount.
Yeah, I was talking about at first about how like there was biomarkers that people look for, like the opposite in their mates. And I heard something about this a long time ago, but the study that they kind of applied it to was they were taking women on birth control, who when you're on birth control, like overrides your it overrides your the mating process, right? Like you start dating based on what you actually want in a person, not what your body wants in a person. When
Birth control does that?
yeah, like it override, like yeah, it takes away your desire to reproduce, which changes your desire.
Oh, I didn't know that.
According to a study, probably not a good one. Who knows? Maybe at a JUCO in Northern California. I don't know where it came from. But the study was they found that a lot of women when they're on birth control will like start dating a guy who's a little more sensitive. And they will pick that guy based on what they want out of a guy. But when they get married and they get off birth control, they find their body is no longer attracted to that person because it never was attracted to that person. You just overrode your body's personal mechanism to search for what it's actually attracted to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they were talking about that. Another study that was like along that vein too was like a lot of women who like softer guys, they like them to raise their children, but they want the seed of those like they want their children to be the offspring of like the toughest guy in the village, but they want like the nice guy to nurture it and raise it with
Yeah.
them.
I think there's a lot of relationships where the woman wants to be more in control. She wants to feel like she has the power, and they tend to go for men who don't want to, who are
Yeah.
a little softer and don't.
If
I
you wanna
feel
wear
like
the
you
pa-
see that a
If you want to
lot.
wear the pants, you look for a guy whose knees are on display. Yeah.
I feel like that's very common,
Yeah.
and the guy obviously
Yeah, but-
likes that role too.
Yeah, it's funny is that's one thing that there used to be a guy that worked at the Improv with me, and his girl was just like everyone that worked there will tell you like, oh, that dude's girlfriend's a bitch, like. But at some point, you have to remind yourself that's what he wants.
Yeah.
He sticks around for it. There's a reason. Like, he's not a glutton for punishment. It's what he wants. She gives him something he wants.
Yeah, well, it's the same.
you
They
know.
say a lot of girls are attracted to assholes. There's something. Yeah, it goes both ways.
Mhm.
You just don't hear about it as much.
So I think a lot of the time we
with
feel
men.
bad for people in these like tough relationship situations, but we forget about the fact that that's kind of what they want. Like, even if your friend who's with the asshole guy, if she breaks up with him, she's gonna go get with another asshole guy. So you know what I mean? Like, so maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like
No.
that always happens, right? Where you like, like my girl will like help her friend get out of XYZ bad relationship, and 6 months later, the next one's not much different, right? Like
Yeah.
that's you're kind of attracted to what you're attracted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Do you
feel
think
that way
you're-
about your dad? He's attracted
Well,
to
do you-
sisters.
Do you think you're attracted to what you're attracted to, or do you think that it is a product of your environment? Do you think that like her parents, like maybe her mom was dating an asshole or something like that?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably a little bit of both. It's probably a little nature and a little nurture.
Yeah, like if your mom treats your dad like shit or something, do you think you're gonna go for a woman that treats you like shit? That's that what you're saying? Like you kind of
Yeah.
go for what you know.
Go for what you
Yes.
know. Maybe. And I think a lot of people that come from easier situations, even if your mom wears the pants in the relationship and she makes your dad feel like a bitch all the time, you could still grow up in a very stable household, right? Like it could still be, there could still be food on the table, the bills are always paid, the lights are never off. I think people who grow up in situations like that are more likely to model what they're around just because it worked. it worked for their family. Like
Yeah.
they never went without. Whereas I feel like if you grow up in a household where whether your dad or your mom is the aggressive or is the moodier one or the wears the pants or whatever, however you want to describe it. If you grew up in a house where your mom wears the pants and shit was never right, you might be like, no, I'm dating a woman. I'm not letting her do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think about my best friend who, like, his mom was kind of out of the picture pretty early on, and he and his dad grew up in like a lot of like drug houses and stuff like that. And it was just grew up in like his family. Both of his parents were drug addicts, and the way, like from how it's explained to me, his dad was always just kind of a little more like, yeah, like, yeah, your mom's coming back around, and he'd be like, what the fuck are you doing letting mom back around? She keeps like taking your money and leaving, so. Maybe if you grow up in a household where it doesn't work, you're driven to find the opposite of it.
Yeah. That's true, too. Yeah, a lot of people go
I
for
don't know.
opposite. We don't know, guys. What we've concluded today is neither of us know anything that's going on.
Dream man, describe him. You first.
He pointed at you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Single.
Single.
Alive.
Not married to one of your brothers. That's a good call.
Has a good job.
Okay.
Has a car. I'm really going above over here.
Okay.
Alex has a car.
Oh, yeah. That's about all I've got.
Wait, you said you have a girlfriend.
Yeah, I do.
Does she have a place?
I mean, she does, yeah.
How often do you get to stay with her?
I'm with her a lot by her choice, but I like to be in my car.
Oh, okay.
That's like it.
So it's not awkward where it's like...
It was like an area of contention for a while because she'd be like, I have a place and you're sleeping in your car in Hollywood. Like, why don't you just come over? And it's like, well, the same reason, like, everyone likes to sleep in their own bed. Even if, like...
You like to sleep in your own car.
Yeah, I mean, I did it in Denver. I do it here. Like, I like it. If, like, people are like, if you had money, where would you move? I'm like, if I had money, I'd buy a van that was a little roomier. You know what I mean? Like, I have no problem with what I'm doing. But, yeah, I have a girlfriend. I mean, her family doesn't know really. I mean, they might pay attention to like my stand up or something, or they might know, but I don't think they know. But she also kind of comes from like a weird, like not weird, but her family was they're a little looser on, they're kind of, I mean, they're all working class people, but I feel like they're a little more artsy of parents. It was a little more bohemian, like they don't really mind stuff. So,
all right.
But
back to you, Allie. What did you say? He has to have a nice car?
He's got to have a sweet ride.
A job.
And 2 girlfriends.
No. I don't know.
And no family ties.
Not be clingy.
Okay,
I
so
like my own space. I don't like to report. I don't want to tell someone where I'm going.
So here's why I ask. Say you find the perfect man. And he's married to Jen. What happens?
He will stay married to Jen.
Oh, see,
and
there
he'll
you go.
just be my brother-in-law.
There you go.
And it'll be awkward now that we know she's attracted to my perfect man. Or it's her perfect man. But what if he was your perfect man and I was just like, he's okay. Then you'd be like, let me show this guy what a real woman loves him like.
Now I have a question. Let's say she was with a guy for like a couple weeks and was like, nah, not really for me. She kicks him to the curb. Fair game?
Nope.
Even if it's just a couple weeks?
No.
They never slept together, which is a lie, but
No.
they never slept together.
I think the situation, like, I won't cross that. Like, even with a friend.
because of
Yeah, I think there's like a loyalty thing. I'm a loyal person.
Okay.
Thanks, Allie.
Wait, would you do that to me?
Appreciate that. I don't know.
She's dating the perfect man, Jen.
Ooh, that might be tricky. He's
He's-
the perfect man.
He's an old school kind of guy, the kind that cheats,
One person's trash is another person's treasure.
I mean, if it only been a couple weeks and you didn't have sex, maybe if it was with your permission,
There could be. Well, my mom gave my dad. My mom
I would
gave your mom
certainly
permission, too.
ask.
I would certainly ask.
I mean, it's a few weeks, right?
All right.
If somebody had sex, no, then that's creepy.
Okay.
If somebody had sex with my sister.
Yeah, maybe make it a little awkward for Christmas, but it's okay.
Very awkward. Well, it can't get any more awkward than it already is. Just kidding. I usually tend to have sex with people pretty fast, so that few week thing might
Yeah.
be
A few
tough.
weeks. You're like, was it long distance for a few weeks? What did, how did this happen?
Pen pal.
No, I don't really have sex with people quickly, but I do feel like
Often.
it's no. I wish I had
No
more
commitment
sex. No, but I do feel like you should find out pretty early in the relationship if you're sexually compatible. Does that make sense?
I concur with that statement.
It's not like when I say that I'm like going out and like gotta bang everybody. It's just saying if I do like someone, I'll find that out.
You want to know?
It's not gonna take too long to find that out.
Yeah, you want to know.
Yeah,
I hear you.
yeah. Because otherwise, you could get stuck in a very awkward situation. I never want to be the person that breaks up with somebody because of a sexual thing. Like, oh, I really like you, but we just had sex for the first time, and no.
Hard pass.
Turns out I'm not into that fetish. I don't get turned on by urine.
Well,
Have you ever had to break up with somebody because of just purely a sexual thing?
yeah, I didn't handle it right. You know, I mean, I was younger. I was very young. I was probably like 23.
Yeah.
I was
Same
dating
with me.
I was dating a girl that I really liked. Like, she was really cool, and it just like wasn't there at all. And I tried a couple times, and I really liked her, but yeah, it just like it was clunky. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
And so instead of like being the adult about it, being like, "Hey, look, I don't like fucking you,"
It's so tough.
it is tough. So
awkward.
I kind of just like let it fizzle out, and then we still kind of hung around similar groups of people, and it happened again later where we were hanging out. We were just like sitting on a couch chatting for a while, and then we're like, God, like I really like this girl, you know. And then we walked down that road again, and it happened again. And I kind of was an asshole again. And I was like, man, I can't do this anymore. This is wrong. Like, not even that I was an asshole. I mean, what do you say?
I know.
Is it rude to tell them they're bad? Or is it, or not even that they're bad, but that you're not compatible? Because if you tell someone
that's
they're not,
sensitive, and it feels like such a.
if you tell someone you're not
negative thing,
compatible
yeah.
with them, they're going to hear I'm bad. That's what they're going to hear. Whether it's what you're saying or not. I mean, it could be fantastic. I just don't like things in that hole, you know, like.
Yeah, I think unless it's something specific, like you said, like let's say somebody was like, I'm not going to be in a relationship unless there's anal, then you can be like, okay, we're not compatible. But if it's just that the sex is bad, you're like, how do I just.
I meant she couldn't put anything in my ass. That's what I was saying. You ever.
I did have someone ask me to put a finger in their ass.
And what'd you do?
Only a finger? That's
Walk out?
manageable.
What did you do?
I put my finger in it. It was like
Aw,
I know. it was
you're a giver.
Yeah, that's nice of you.
That's
Well, it's
so
also
nice
kinda
of you.
weird that the guy asked me to put a finger in.
Because if someone asked me to put a finger in an ass, I'm like, only one? How dare you? No, yeah, no.
A lot of guys probably like finger in their ass. I don't know.
I hear
I
that.
haven't done it.
Try it. See if it works. Slide it in there without permission. I hear people love that.
Oh God, no.
You're blushing.
Yeah.
It's gross. I'm not into butt stuff, but I know it's a very popular thing right
It's
now.
a pretty big category
It's a
on
very
the old
big,
tube.
very popular. When I was like 19, I went out with this guy a few times. Well, we were like doing a play together, and we fooled around. And then one night we were actually in bed. We hadn't had sex yet or anything. And as it's getting ready that we're gonna have sex, he goes, "I have herpes," and I just got up, got out of the bed, and walked out. Like,
I feel like you should have been told that before you got in bed.
I
with
know,
him.
but it was still kind of a dick move. I was just like, "Alrighty then, bye." But yeah, you can't wait.
How dare you?
But
what
you-
a wait, you're saying he was a dick move, or you
I
leaving it was
I
a
was
dick
kind
move?
of a dick.
How dare you, Jen?
But Allie's right. You can't wait till the penis is almost inside you to drop that bomb.
Yeah, no, not at all.
But I didn't handle it very well. I was just like,
He could have told
"See
you ahead
ya."
of time.
Bye bye.
There is no cure for that. You should have been told.
Do we have anything else we need to cover on this subject? How are you feeling?
I feel fantastic.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do you need to let anything else out?
No.
Alex has been so helpful, isn't he? He's part-time therapist, comedy pop-up therapist.
I'm the comedy pop-up therapist.
If you are in the
We
southern,
have some real broken people that come in here too. I don't want to advertise
do.
that. Yeah.
yeah, you do. They make me look normal. If you are in the Southern California area and you'd like to get your hair done, contact Allie's Hair Space at the main salon in Monrovia. It's at Allie's with the underscore, right?
No, it's ALIS period hairspace.
Period. I knew there was something between Allie's and Hairspace. And reach out to Christina and see how she's doing. We don't know if she'll ever come back. She's been gone for a month. If you have any questions, email them to jillinoffpod@gmail.com. Alex, you've been so fabulous today.
Thank you.
This is the first time we've done. You've been here before, but we haven't really talked a lot on a podcast.
Yeah, I don't think I've been
It's the
on your
first time.
air.
It's the first time you've been co-host.
Yeah.
We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
And Christina's probably never going to return. We've overtaken her job.
Well, bummer.
Shit happens, Christina.
She's gonna meet a nice Australian man
That's what happens when you travel the world.
in need of a place to live now because he lost everything he owned to the fires.
Oh,
He's
I
gonna.
feel bad that I just laughed.
She's gonna bring him back, and
She's going to rescue.
she's gonna rescue. She's gonna rescue a dingo, eh?
All right. This has been fabulous. Thank you. Do you want to say thank you?
Thank you.
There you go. Bye-bye.
Bye.